Dear students, now we are going to see the details of paranasal air sinuses. What is be paranasal air sinuses? Those are the air-filled cavities seen around the nasal cavity. So that's why it's known as paranasal, near the nasal or around the nasal cavity. Sinuses means air-filled cavities. Sinuses means cavities. Here it is the air-filled cavities. That's why it's known as paranasal air sinuses. So paranasal air sinuses means those are the air-filled cavities seen around the nasal cavity. Mainly four paranasal air sinuses are there. What are they? Frontal, maxillary, sphenoidal, and ethmoidal air sinuses. What is the peculiarity of these air sinuses? All these air sinuses or air cavities opens into the nasal cavity. See like this. See, this is our nasal cavity. This is the here comes the maxilla for the upper jaw. Okay. Imagine this colored area as the maxillary sinus. It opens into the nasal cavity. See inside the frontal bone there also we can see a cavity. Okay. That cavity also opens into the nasal cavity. Then the mold bone opens into the nasal cavity. Then sphenoid bone, sphenoidal air sinus that also opens into the nasal cavity. So all these nasal sinuses or paranasal air sinuses opens into the nasal cavity. Why we are having this nasal, air sinuses? In order to reduce the weight of the skull. So then it gives a resonance to the sound. So these are the two functions of this paranasal air sinuses. It reduces the weight of the skull and it gives a resonance to the sound. Okay. The inflammation of the sinus it is much sinusitis. So just the introduction about the paranasal air sinuses. What is meant by paranasal air sinuses? Those are the air-filled cavities. What are the frontal, maxillary, sphenoidal, and ethmoidal? What are the other features? It opens into the nasal cavity and it gives a resonance to the sound and it reduces the weight of the skull. Now we have to go through the details of each sinus. First one, frontal sinus. Frontal sinus, which is seen, it is seen inside the frontal bone, where deep to the superciliary arch. See here we are having a ridge correspond to this eyebrow. Okay, where we are having a ridge in the skull, it is known as the superciliary arch. So deep to the superciliary arch, there comes this sinus. That is what the location of the sinus. See, superciliary arch means nothing but a ridge seen here in this region. Okay, so we have to break the superciliary arch to see this cavity. And okay, so it is seen deep to the superciliary arch, and it opens into the middle meatus of the nose. Okay, where see yesterday we have gone through the middle meatus. Middle meatus, ethmoidal bulla, hiatus, semilunaris. See here we can see the opening of the frontal air sinus. So it is seen in the middle meatus, where the anterior part of the hiatus, semilunaris. May not go to the details. Okay, it is rudimentary at the time of birth, and it is well developed after puberty. So arterial supply is supplied by supraorbital artery, the artery which lies above the orbit. That's what it's known as supraorbital artery. See here, we are having one artery. That artery, see, it starts from here and runs upward. That's why it's known as supraorbital artery. That artery gives some branches to this sinus. Then venous drainage into the anastomotic vein between the supraorbital vein and the superior ophthalmic vein, means the connecting vein which connects the supraorbital vein to the superior ophthalmic vein. Okay, then lymphatic drainage into submandibular lymph node. Submandibular lymph node means the here in this region below the mandible, approximately here, we are having some lymph nodes. Those lymph nodes are known as submandibular lymph nodes. Okay, then now supply supraorbital now. In the same position, there we are having a nerve that one is a supraorbital nerve. So arterial supply supraorbital artery, nerve supply supraorbital nerve, venous drainage into anastomotic vein. Okay, or the connecting vein, which connects the supraorbital vein to the superior ophthalmic vein. Then lymphatic drainage into submental lymph nodes. So these are some of the details of this frontal air sinus. Okay, so frontal air sinus means it is a cavity seen inside the frontal bone deep to the superciliary arch. It opens into the middle meatus, then it is rudimentary at the time of birth. Those points. Now we are going to the important sinus, maxillary sinus. Okay, maxillary sinus means it is a pyramid-shaped cavity, almost a pyramid-shaped. Here comes the base. This is the imagine. This is the apex. This diagram is not that much clear. Almost like this. Here comes the base, then like this. So it's a pyramid-shaped cavity seen inside the body of the maxilla. See, maxilla is having body and four processes. So we have to specify it is seen in the body of the maxilla, and it is the largest sinus. Correct now, it is the largest air sinus, and it is pyramidal shaped. Base directed towards the nose. See, here comes the base. So base is directed towards the nasal cavity. Apex is directed towards the zygomatic bone. See, here we are having the cheek prominence. Okay, or the zygomatic bone. So apex is directed towards the zygomatic bone. Base is directed towards the nose. Okay, then its roof is formed by infraorbit or orbit. We are going to discuss the details. So see one by one. So it is a pyramidal shaped space. Base is directed towards the lateral wall of the nose, and apex is directed towards the zygomatic bone. Then it opens into the middle meatus of the nose. See here we already saw towards the posterior end of the hiatus semilunaris. See, this is the opening of the maxillary air sinus. So this sinus also opens into the middle meatus. Now, in isolated maxilla, this hiatus, this opening is large, but in the intact skull, this opening is reduced. The size of the opening is reduced by some bones. With a separated maxilla, see here we can see a small opening towards the nasal cavity. This large sinus opens into the nasal cavity through a small opening. In separated maxilla, this opening or this hiatus, hiatus means this opening. This opening is large. See, almost like this. Okay, but in intact skull, this opening is reduced by these bones. See, what are they? Uncinate process of ethmoid. Uncinate process of ethmoid. That is one. Then anteriorly lacrimal bone, inferiorly inferior nasal cone, posteriorly perpendicular plate of palatine bone. So these bones overlaps that hiatus or that opening. As a result, that will become a small opening. Okay, clear? So that large opening, see this is what the size of the maxillary hiatus. That large opening is reduced by these bones. What are the bones? Uncinate process of ethmoid bone, lacrimal bone, inferior nasal concave, perpendicular plate of palatine bone. So details. Now, roof of the maxillary air sinus is formed by floor of the orbit. We have to check it. See, this is the orbit. Roof of the sinus is formed by floor of the orbit. And floor of the sinus is formed by alveolar arch. See, here comes the alveolar arch with the teeth. So here, floor is formed by alveolar arch. Roof is formed by the orbit. Roof is formed by floor of the orbit. Floor is formed by alveolar arch of the maxilla. Okay, it is the first developing sinus. Artery supply is supplied by facial artery, infraorbital artery, greater palatine artery, venous drainage into facial vein, and pterygoid venous plexus. Lymphatic drainage, as I told, submandibular lymph node. Then nerve supply, infraorbital, anterior, middle, and posterior superior alveolar nerves. Those nerves supplies to the maxilla. At the same time, this applies to the maxillary sinus also. Now, synodal air sinus. Synodal air sinus is a sinus seen inside the body of the synod bone. Say here, inside the body of the synod, there we can see a sinus. So this is what the synodal air sinus, which opens into the senoethmoidal recess. The sinus opens into the senoethmoidal recess. I told you, which is a space seen about the superior concave. This area, senoethmoidal recess. Okay, and this sinus, which is divided into right and left halves by the septum. Okay, so senoid bone, we are having only a single senoid bone. Inside that senoid bone, there is a cavity. That cavity is divided into two parts by the septum. So right and left senoidal sinuses lies within the body of the senoid. Or senoidal air sinus lies within the body of the senoid, and it is divided into two equal halves by the septum. Okay. Then each sinus opens into the senoethmoidal recess. I already told you. Then arterial supply. It is supplied by posterior ethmoidal artery, internal carotid artery. There are those things you have to by heart, not through venous drainage, pterygoid venous plexus, and cavernous sinus. the lymphatic drainage into retropharyngeal. What is meant by retropharyngeal? Behind the pharynx. So some lymph nodes are there behind the pharynx. Those lymph nodes are known as retropharyngeal lymph nodes. Okay. Then now supply posterior ethmoidal nerve, orbital branch of the cerebrospinal ganglia. Those things you have to by heart. So anyway, this is what the location of the synodal air sinus, which is seen inside the body of the synod. It is divided into two equal halves by the septum, and it opens into the synod places. Now, ethmoidal sinus means those are numerous air-filled cavities. See here, these are the ethmoidal air sinus. See there we can see numerous air-filled cavities. Okay, see here, numerous air-filled cavities are seen inside the ethmoid bone. Those are the ethmoidal air sinuses. Which can be basically three groups are there: anterior, posterior, anterior, middle, and posterior. Okay, so anterior group contain 1 to 11 air cells. Air cells means those air sinuses, air cavities. Okay, I told you. See here, small air cavities are there. So each air cavity is known as what? Air cell. So anterior group contain 1 to 11 air cells or air cavities. Okay, it opens into the anterior part of the hiatus semilunaris. Okay, we already saw. See here, we can see the opening of the anterior ethmoidal air sinus. Then it is supplied by anterior ethmoidal nerves and vessels. Drains into lymphatic drainage into submandibular lymph node. Now middle ethmoidal air sinus consists of 1 to 7 air cells or air cavities. That also opens into the middle meatus, where see here on the ethmoidal bulla. Here we can see the opening of the middle ethmoidal air sinus. See, anterior ethmoidal is seen here in the hiatus semilunaris. Middle ethmoidal is seen in the ethmoidal bulla. Then it is supplied by posterior ethmoidal nerves and vessels. In addition to that, it is having orbital branch of the cerebrospinal ganglia. Lymphatic drainage is common submandibular lymph node. Then posterior ethmoidal air sinus. It is having 1 to 7 air cells. Then it drains into superior meatus, where see here, this is a superior concave, this is a middle concave, this one is a superior concave. So between those two, this area, this is a superior meatus with one opening, that one is a posterior ethmoidal air sinus. So posterior ethmoidal air sinus opens into the superior meatus. Then it is supplied by posterior ethmoidal nerves and vessels and orbital branch of the cerebrospinal ganglia common. So on the lymphatic drainage, retropharyngeal lymph nodes. So these are the some of the details of this paranasal air sinuses. So the most important one, maxillary air sinus. Maxillary air sinus is a separate 5 mark question. Okay, so study